Hey everybody, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Filip Latocha, and today we're going to be talking about the Brooks Hyperion Elite 2 after 50 plus miles. Before we get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Lots of cool stuff coming up in the next couple of days, couple of weeks. So just enjoy the ride. So without further ado, let's get into the shoe review.
Let's be great. I got patience if you need me to wait. You can hit me up whenever you stray. We ain't gotta rush, it's never too late. We ain't gotta rush, it's never too late. It's never too late for us. I'm waiting on your loving. Just give me all your loving, and I'll give you all my loving. That's all I ask of you.
Brooks Hyperion 2 Elite 2. The reason we're doing a review of this shoe at 50 miles instead of the traditional 100 plus miles on this channel is that if this is Brooks' stable race shoe, their highest class race shoe, I guess you can say, I think it's important to review it more often, more critically than your everyday runner. So the last time I made a video about the Hyperion Elite, that wasn't my first impressions. I had a comparison video between this shoe and the Tempo Next Percent, and I was kind of critical about the shoe, and I had a lot of questions concerning the shoe, which ultimately made me give it a bad rep. But since then, I've been running the shoe through more rigorous testing, running more often in it, and now I have a change of heart to this shoe per se. So these are some of the things I want to talk about with the Hyperion Elite 2. One of my biggest concerns originally was that I could not get the output from the shoe that I was looking for in comparison to the Tempo Next Percent, the Vaporfly Next Percent, and at this point the Alphafly Next Percent as well, which is a big ask because two of those shoes are an apples and oranges comparison, whereas one of them is a direct competitor to this particular shoe, right? So my issue was that I could run, a pretty casual pace of about 7-minute miles, 650s in this shoe, but if I was trying to push anywhere into like a 620, 610 range, I just couldn't do it. Like, for some reason the shoe was just slightly holding back, and I couldn't figure out why in this particular case this shoe wasn't reacting the way I thought it would. Now, after running various paces, various distances in the last 4 days with this particular shoe, I think I figured out some of my issues, and I will kind of bring out some of those concerns here. So, the idea here is that I have 50 plus miles on this shoe now, and I originally did my review when I did about like 20 to 30 miles. So, in my opinion, I think this shoe requires a little bit more break-in than your typical Nike shoe. So, what I mean by that is that there's some features on this shoe that kind of gradually build in while you're running in them, such as the shoe getting tighter, such as this upper stretching just a little bit to fit your foot if your foot is slightly larger than the shoe. And again, maybe it's also a case of breaking in this bottom with these rubber pads to finally get the grip you're looking for to start utilizing the carbon plate appropriately. So on that front, now that the shoe is broken in, at least here on the bottoms, which we'll go over in a second, I'm starting to experience the results, I think the way that the Hyperion Elite 2 was intended, which is to feel more like the Next Percent, in addition to having this foam, which allows it to be an everyday trainer as well for the 200 to 400 plus mile lifespan of the shoe, which is a good thing. That's what I was expecting this shoe to do ultimately. So that was one of my big concerns. Was I thought the carbon plate wasn't behaving the way it was supposed to be, and now it is, and now I'm feeling a lot better about the shoe than I was feeling last week, per se. The second big concern I had was with the shoe sizing naturally, and I was thinking that the shoe size was a half size too big, and as a result, I was getting black toes and bloody toes from the shoe. Again, after using it a couple of times and tying and untying these shoelaces and figuring out this gummy upper and the shoelace stretch, I finally tightened it to the point where my foot is locking into the shoe completely, and I'm not experiencing any toe bumps on this upper here on the top, and the shoe is finally, again, performing better with the carbon plate as a result as well. So everything kind of just fixed itself together when I learned how to tie my shoes. Can you believe that? And now the shoe upper here, I have it a lot tighter than normal, and it doesn't seem like it right now because it's untied, but when I do tie it, it does pull itself in a lot more, which is obviously a good thing, and I'm glad I fixed that issue. So let's go over some of the things I see here immediately. Let's go over the bottoms after 50 plus miles, some of my thoughts and concerns if they are there. So this is what the bottoms currently look like here in the forefoot. In the heels, there's just a little bit of mud on the back of this one. I'll clean it off later, but yeah, I didn't want to necessarily clean it for this video. So the big concerns I have, again, with this particular shoe, my right foot, is I see that these rubber paddings are seeing a little bit of shred, which is good. I think this is what I was expecting it to do. So now we lost this like shiny pattern that they created, and now we're getting into like the deep rubber of the said pads, and now we're experiencing the catch and the grip that I think it's supposed to produce. So again, with this foam here, I'm not too particularly concerned about it getting worn out, because as long as we have these rubber uppers, or as long as we have this rubber sole protecting it, not a big deal. In terms of the left foot, nothing unusual. Again, the only thing I'm seeing the most wear and tear with is up here in the forefoot section of the shoe. Again, not a big deal. It's still just the rubber. It's not the foam necessarily, so I'm not too worried about it. This will maybe get me flagged on YouTube. Maybe it won't. There's a little bit of blood on my upper for the shoe, which should make sense because, well, this is where I was getting some bloody toes from running in the shoe. And, yeah, it's kind of gross. Is this one still here? Not so much on the other foot, but both shoes were kind of bleeding, so that's something interesting. The other piece of interest is that it's very dirty on the pronated side of the shoe, most likely from dirt. I don't think it's from the inside. No, it doesn't seem like the inside would make this outside piece dirty necessarily on this type of material. So it's probably some dirt, maybe some leaves or something like that is just ultimately getting the shoe dirty on this inside piece. Not a big deal again. So anyways, that's all I had for now in terms of my 50-mile review of the shoe. Actually, no, I do have one more thing. Let's bring it up. So, overall, with the Brooks Hyperion Elite 2, in regards to my previous video versus how I feel now, last video I downgraded this shoe to be more of like a rare tempo / everyday runner shoe, and now I'm more confident about using it for tempo runs with the Tempo Next %, and eventually starting to push it into those threshold workouts when the time comes, as I intended for this shoe to be in my training program for the sub 16 5K. And yeah, so now I'm feeling a lot better about this shoe again. It took 30 plus miles to break in the shoe appropriately, and if I knew that ahead of time, I wouldn't have been so critical about the shoe previously. But hey, you live, you learn, right? So anyways, that's all I've got for now. Thanks for watching this video. If you guys liked it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, tell me how your experience with the Brooks Hyperion Elite 2s are going if you have a pair. Do you like these better than any Nike shoes you've run in? Do you have the Hyperion Elite 1? And if you do you like it better than the Hyperion Elite 2? Because I'm not 100% sure how the Hyperion Elite 1 runs, and yeah, I'm just kind of curious. And if I should buy it to test it, please let me know, guys. That's all I've got for now. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you guys real soon.